see how, oh yeah, his video.
Конечно, я хочу уехать в Америку.
So does Lana actually message the guys, do you think? Or do you think Lana...
Okay, time to start the most anticipated documentary in all of 2020. Hey guys, welcome back to the #1 YouTube channel in the entire world. So as you guys can see, a lot of stuff has happened between David and Lana since I posted my part 2 of this docu-series. In the meantime, me and Lana have been talking a lot on these chat sites where she scams dudes for money. Some of you might not know this, but I've actually been talking to David and I tried to reach out to him and tell him about Lana's infidelity, but alas, he would not listen. David! In fact, some members of our proud Yourwetsock community have actually shared our videos with David, but he wrote them off as fake news. Not really sure how it can be fake news if it really happened. Meanwhile, Lana has been chatting with all kinds of dudes online, which is sad considering she's engaged to David. Or was engaged to David. In our last video, we also saw a very ugly side of this scamming hooker, Lana, when she made fake profiles of Gregory Higgins on many dating sites, calling him gay, but meaning it in a very malicious way. So if you watched my last video, you know Lana, the Ukrainian version of Karen, made a bunch of profiles of me, and this is relevant for this video because she made more profiles. Okay, let's see what she's got. Let's see what this scammer had to say about me by making another profile of me on one of these sketchy websites that no one clicks on. I would love to see the traffic on one of these websites, because it's ridiculous. 40-year-old man seeking men between 20 and 85, I'll tell you later. Same as the last one. Austin, Texas, United States. Gotta get those keywords in. Computer, Xbox One, sex. I am a little fat. I have a very small penis. But I want to find a man or couple who will give me more experience and teach me about sex. I am a little fat. I have a very small penis, but I want to. Congrats, Lana. You really showed me. So yeah, basically I'm looking for a lot of people to give me sexual experience because I'm a little fat, I have a very small penis. Got him, dude. Now you will notice from this bio, she said less mean things about the gay community. So hey, progress, all right? We're moving in the right direction. I think we can all agree that making a bunch of fake profiles of me is not the best way to come at me, but this is the same person that thinks my real name is Greg Higgins, so not the brightest bulb in Ukraine. Lana is big mad and also a little paranoid since my last video because I'm actually talking to Lana right now on 6 different profiles and I'm very, very, very undercover. We're actually scheduling to live chat on a couple of them. I'm not going to go too much into it because I don't want to spook her. Now, something fun we've done on this quest to find Lana, get her in a live stream and ask her the questions about David is, a lot of the Yourwetsocks have actually participated. A lot of my subscribers have reached out to me saying that they've called Lana, they've reached out, they have messages. Now, I think this is a great thing, but this also has her very paranoid and hesitant to hop on calls now because of what we did. And honest to God, a couple Yourwetsocks have actually managed to get Lana in a call, but the problem is when they mention myself or David, she ends the call really fast. And make sure you stay until the end of this video, guys, because we're going to be interviewing a certain somebody later in the video that answers the questions about Lana, why she ends the calls when mentioning me or David, and why she's so mad at us. But before we get into all that, let's see what's happening with Lana and David. TLC has posted a lot of videos of them going on dates and all kinds of stuff like that. Let's update everybody on the situation. I'm shocked Lana has the audacity to go on dates with this nice simp named David that has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of her, while she still talks to shady dudes like Greg Higgins. Oh, fuck you, I'm not shady. Greg, shut up and roll the clip, dude.
Line and 4 failed meeting attempts, I am finally with Lana. I cannot believe she's with me.
Honestly, David, we don't believe this shit is happening either.
Would you?
Я была уверена, хочу я этого или нет. Конечно, я хочу уехать в Америку.
So did you guys just hear what Lana said? She basically said, when you slice through the bullshit, I want to go to America, but I don't want to kiss David. And I understand, after that 3-part kiss move that David pulled, he took a fat L there. I get it. But we see this girl's intention. She wants to go to America. She doesn't want any intimacy with David. So I'm going to clear some things up about the timeline because a lot of people are confused because TLC is just now posting these episodes and you're seeing these dates with David and Lana. This happened in December of 2019. is when this took place. Yo, what's up? This is the Yourwetsock IT department. I'd like to shift the conversation and go balls deep into the websites Lana works on and how they work. Did you guys know the online dating scam market made around $200 million last year? After my last video on Lana, a lot of people reached out to me to give me more information about Lana and the websites that she works for, one of which was one of my subscribers that admitted that she used to work as a translator on one of these websites. Basically, this is how it works. Lana is a model and she works for an agency. The translators work for the websites and their main job is to chat up all these dudes that think they're talking to the models. I'm going to touch upon the subject more later when I interview a certain somebody, but for now, let me give you a little perspective on what it's like working as a translator on one of these scammer websites. Now, I respect all my Wetsock's privacy. That being said, you know who you are, the person that sent me this message. If you want me to link you in my bio, I will. Just let me know. So she said, "Hi, I just saw your video on Lana and the 90-day fiancé thing, and I actually worked for one of those dating websites, so I thought maybe I'd let you know about how they work. So I'm originally from Ukraine, but English is my first language, and a lot of people who speak English in Ukraine got recruited for these translator jobs for the dating websites. I had my resume posted on a LinkedIn type site, and that's basically how they find me. Basically then they described the job to me and it seemed like a good deal. All I had to do is manage profiles of these girls and message men on their behalf. I don't even know if the girls whose profiles I wrote from were real or not because the girls are never even supposed to meet the men they're talking to. I'm talking to. As a translator for these dating agencies, you only receive the basic info about these girls, like age, height, weight, and then the administrator shares a folder with a bunch of their pictures, and you can choose which ones to post as the main ones to the website and which ones to send to the men. Anyway, so how it works is you download a software that automatically sends messages to anyone who is online on the dating site, and then also to people who have already replied to your chats. The dating agency calls these chats invites because you're inviting the men on the site to talk to you, since they pay every time they send you a message. All the translators who work for this dating agency also have a manager, a person who's been a translator for a long time and knows how the algorithm works. So you're required to send all your invites or the messages that lure men into your manager first for him/her to approve. Oh yeah, there's a ton of male translators on this site too. The invites are supposed to be kind of racy or like provocative, usually to ensure that the dudes on the site actually reply. Stuff like, "If we were stuck in an elevator, what would you do, winky face?" I couldn't even bring myself to send anything too cringy like that, so I'd usually just write normal messages like, "Hey, how are you?" which some men still respond to. Anyway, once you've started a chat with the dude, it's all about getting him to send as many messages as possible. Regular messages are worth like 2 points as far as I remember. Pictures are 10 points. Videos are 30 points. I don't know how much that would equivalent to in dollars, but these guys were spending a lot. So naturally, once you start talking to them, most want to switch to using WhatsApp or Gmail or anything else, but the agency requires that you just block guys who want to use another way to talk and don't message them again. I did this for a good month before it became too much, and I just felt bad for talking to these men, some of whom seem genuinely nice but clueless, but also a lot of the messages the men on there send are extremely gross. And like, I'm 18, so I didn't really like the fact that I had to respond to them even though I was responding on the behalf of these girls. So I decided to quit after a month and the agency ended never sending me the money that I supposedly earned. That's fucked up. This girl should get paid for her time. That's foul. Anyway, the whole thing is pretty messed up. So many people in Ukraine do it as a way to like make quick money, and the majority of the translators that do the same thing I did are 18 to 22-year-old dudes. I just felt bad about it the whole time because all of us who did this translating stuff were in a group chat together, and my coworkers would regularly make fun of the messages that these men send, even when it's like personal stuff, and the men who really think they're talking to girls who likes them. And the messages she's referring to are messages like this.
What do you think of this guy? What do you think of him?
He's so sweet.
He's so sweet.
Yeah.
So at one point I was messaging people from 4 different girls, and that video shows a bit of the layout of the site. Anyway, I hope that you read this because once I saw your 90-day fiancé video, I couldn't help but want to share this. You know who you are. Thank you so much for sharing that with me and providing me that information about how the websites work and what it's like from a translator's perspective working on these websites. Also, it's foul that these websites are scammy enough to not pay their translators when they're the ones doing a lot of the work. So in this video, you guys, we are interviewing somebody right now that is very knowledgeable about this entire situation between David and Lana. He was kind enough to join me and spill the tea on Lana and David and how these websites work. Wetsocks, please give a warm Texas welcome to Alex Pinto, the leader of the Ukrainian Matchmakers Alliance.
So does Lana actually message the guys, do you think? Or do you think Lana just messages you? Hey, Alex.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? We're all good. Everything's good. Everything's reporting. So let's get right into it.
What's up from this?
So first of all, can you introduce yourself and the Ukrainian Matchmakers Alliance and exactly what it is that you do?
I came to Ukraine back in 2005, married a Ukrainian woman, and I had to stay here because she wanted to stay. So to find a job is not easy for foreigners here, especially a psychologist or some from human resources.
Right.
So I found very interesting the international dating scene that was going on. I started to see foreigners coming, and I started to understand what is that. So I opened a concierge company in terms of rentals of apartments, driving people, and then I started to follow through the dating scene, and I understood the scourge that is going on and all this on the dating, because it's like most of the things are not what it looks like. The perception and the reality are two different things. I bought the company at the time, cleaned the house. Everybody went out. I stay only with one girl that was working for the company for 3 months. So supposedly know nothing, will be able to follow my steps because the company was founded in 2000. So I purchased it in 2005. So I'm in Ukraine with For Him Dating is my personal company. It's a professional matchmaking company. Has at this date 15 years. And then 3 years ago, to try to elevate a little bit more the spirit about credibility and matchmaking, not online dating, I create the Ukrainian Matchmakers Alliance. That is an official entity in Ukraine with a physical address, with a certification from the state, pay taxes and salaries, and gather the operators of dating, marriage agencies, and matchmakers that we understand that gather legit conditions and the codes of honor to work with foreigner clients. This is what is my work in nowadays.
What exactly are the differences between the sites belonging to the Alliance and the websites that someone like Lana from 90 Day Fiancé uses?
Well, the companies that belong to the Ukrainian Matchmakers Alliance do not have or do not practice online dating in terms of putting foreigner men talking with on this case, Ukrainian women. So they do not practice the so-called paper letter.
Got it.
Agencies like you say about Lana and all her other 15 at least profiles, they are online dating companies that they are merely for people to write blindly back and forth to those profiles. I used to say they date the pictures.
When she makes those profiles, she's never intending to actually meet these people, develop a relationship with these people. It's purely to earn money from exchanging emails online.
Let's put it this way, I like the facts to reflect the reality by itself, and I always like my listeners to make their own conclusions. See this way, if a gorgeous, good-looking girl like her or any other is at least for 7 years online and never could succeed, something must be wrong, or must be there another reasons for them. This kind of reply.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah. I think everybody that watches the show 90 Day Fiancé, which is a big part of my audience, watches the show, is just out of their mind at the fact that after so many trips to Ukraine, and after so many trips where David went to Ukraine and she kind of ghosted him, she didn't give him the time of day, and didn't meet up with him, why do you think it is that Lana all of a sudden met with him now?
To make some fundamental reason for my knowledge on that, David came to my city, Poltava, in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. I'm Portuguese. It's my city because it's my family city. He came here, I have the opportunity to meet him in 2006. And he was already on this since 1999, dating in Russia, Moscow. So David have a very good experience about what he's doing. But that does not mean that he may not be deceived by his own overwhelming situation or by his desires, and sometimes may be able to be out of reality. So happens that he really came here and she didn't show up, then he came here and she had a problem that I think that appears on the show, that died her brother. And that is really true. It did happen. Even the investigator that was contracted. confirmed the situation. The third time, it was all those excuses that something bite to her, or some cases the grandmother died, some excuse. Again, he failed. Fourth time he failed, and the fifth time why it happens. It happens that she says she have a camera anxiety, and I understand that it's very difficult to have a private life when you have 3 cameras and microphones around and spotlights. So this for Ukrainian people that really preserve their privacy. So she kind of stood him up with that. But then, for sure, the production of the program found a way to motivate her, is the only thing I can tell.
Well, there's a lot of online and like gossip forums, 90 Day Fiancé gossip forums. Some people are speculating that the only reason she went on the show is because the website that she belongs to put her up to it, because otherwise their website would be seen as a scam. Do you think there's any truth to that? Do you think that was part of the motivation to why she actually appeared on TLC's 90 Day Fiancé now?
Can you tell me which is the website that she belongs to? Because I don't know.
I have no idea. See, that's the thing. Is
this is why it's like why never was divulged which is the agency where he met her. It would be logic, It's like everybody asks, I met this lovely girl. Where? Which website? That name never came up, right?
Right.
I know that he started with the website first. Mm-hmm. He met her. Mm-hmm. And then that website was kind of expensive. I'm using his words. And he moved to another one. So it was a website called some Russian date or something like that. I don't remember. But he moved. Right. And this is already a flag. When you are talking with one girl on one website, mm-hmm. and then you find the same girl on the other one, and you go to speak with her on the other one because there is cheaper, it's starting wrong already.
Right.
But
right.
That's how it started. And we are talking about 7 years ago. So to reply what you asked me, the agencies do not have any interest to be exposed on that, because I do not believe that will bring any pluses, and cannot prove if she is honest or dishonest, because as far as I know, she is at least on actively in 15 of them. And I noticed that last week she was deleted from 2 of them.
Wow.
So,
okay.
And maybe she disgraced herself a bit, because this phenomenon of deleting her will keep on, because she brings bad news.
Do you think it was because she was talking to Greg Higgins and she got called out by Greg Higgins?
It may happen, but you see, that I saw that, and that was a very soft way, because there are many ways to really frame them. It was too prompt, too easy. I think that the potential of the online professionals was underestimated sweetly.
I completely agree with that. I completely agree. So I find that interesting when David talked about that and Lana talked about that too, is that she belongs to an agency and the agency gives permission for her to be on all these websites. My question is, are they all owned by the agency?
Let's see it this way. One lady go to one agency mm-hmm. and post her profile on that agency. Not even talking about what are the motives that she do it. Can be several. She is really very marriage oriented. She wants to find a husband. She is there because the friend is there and pushing her to go there, or she just wants to find a way to get out from the country. The husband will be a passport. You never know. It's very difficult to know what it is. Okay?
Right.
So if she is very aggressive on this, she can put on one side, she can go put on the other one, she can go and put on another one. And then, like a tree, these websites where she went, they will share the profile with other platforms that they are associated with. So when one woman put one profile in one website, she may appear easily in at least 3, 4, or 5 of them, which she even doesn't know that she is on.
Got it. Okay, so that's why she has her profile on so many websites.
Partly yes, because I do not believe that it's physically possible to reply to men that come from 15 agencies at the same time.
I mean, I have trouble even on Instagram writing a couple messages, let alone the hundreds that she would have to write. So what is your expert advice for men like David, American men that are a little bit older, that are seeking companionship with Eastern European women?
Well, first of all, and I was very surprised. I had a conversation the other day with David, and he said something very interesting to me, and he said me the following. If a man do not have social skills to be succeeded dating in his own country, why the hell he thinks he can be succeeded dating abroad.
Right.
Coming from someone with 20 plus years of experience dating abroad and still not married, so this says a lot, right?
Right.
So the advice that I would give is that people need first to understand and to make a self-evaluation. They need to understand if they can reach what they want. Can I have that drop gorgeous girl that is 25 younger than me, maybe at the age of my own daughter? If he doesn't think that way and he insists, it may be luck remotely, but how long it will last, we never know.
I think a lot of people find it strange because isn't it already a red flag when you have to pay to talk to somebody?
I would not say that is a red flag if you have to pay to someone, because when you make a phone call to me, you are paying, right?
True.
Depends.
True.
It's on the honesty of the services that you are using to talk to the person. You need to understand the tools that are giving to you, in which conditions, and what requires from you to succeed in what you want to do. And this is also the part of the evaluation and the homework, to understand where are you going to put your money. Because the information is there for the most attentive person.
One of my subscribers actually reached out to me and said that she used to be a translator on one of these companies' websites. But she said that it's very common for both men and women to work as translators for these websites. So when these men message the girl they think is the really hot model, it's actually the translators.
Well, you put a nice trick there on the conversation, men and women. But I go with you because it is true. On my YouTube channel, I have an interview with the man that works on dating agencies as a translator. If you would be able to read Russian, you can understand that the internet is completely flooded with advertisements trying to find translators. Mm-hmm. And they advertise very good money. A young translator with 18 or 20, she can make easy $1,000 a month. And I tell you that 27,000 hryvnia is many, many times the minimum salary of this country. Young people on the summer vacation, they run to these kind of agencies to give these services because the traffic of men writing is really high, and as we proved before, it's physically impossible for one person to do that. So there are maybe one Lana that can write in one or two websites for the guys that write to her, but all the other pictures she has spread all over, there are some young guys or young girls replying on them.
So does Lana actually message the guys, do you think? Or do you think Lana just messages via, like, has translators message the guys on her behalf?
Well, both of them, what you say is true. I believe truly that she right, because it's many years of practice, and I had the opportunity to see videos of her on these websites where she speaks English during the videos, and the videos have 2 or 3 years. When you see that she's talking on a show, she needs a phone to translate, and then you see videos that she published 2 or 3 years ago, and she's talking English on the presentation, because this website charge more money if you want to open a video from the girl. So the website push the local companies, for the local companies to push the girls to make the videos. And I remember that even David confirmed that. So she is good to write. She can write enough. She can understand. Mm-hmm. We had opportunity to see that even on the show. We need to look to the body language, and sometimes it's really, everybody understands that she understands.
So having watched my video, do you think that I was actually speaking with the real Lana or a translator?
I don't know if you were talking with her or you were talking with the translator that warned her or something like that.
Got it. If David was like me talking to a translator at first, how did he end up talking to the real Lana and developing a relationship? Was it just the amount of time that he was talking to her?
There's a saying that soft water in the hard stone so much beat that it drills.
Over time, she felt comfortable with him and started talking to him herself?
And she started to talk with him.
Okay.
And he believes that he truly spoke, and I believe through also because I have to believe on him, and they had the opportunity to see each other. Okay. I'm not going to go on details on that, but they had the opportunity to see each other. They had the opportunity to speak a lot. And I remember once, a couple of years ago, not so much along, he told that all is finished because they got upset and mad and they spent months without talking. Then he comes back again. And then at the end of all this, on the last year, came the story about the 19 Days Fiancé, and he entered on that without knowing the consequences that can bring, because there are examples that have lots of consequences that normally are not so beneficial for the couple, because hard to help there, because only blood makes news. No romance.
So other subscribers of mine have actually claimed that they got Lana in a live stream and they actually spoke with Lana, but the minute that they brought up David, Lana ended the call. Do you think that my subscribers actually talked to the real Lana, or do you think it was fake?
Serious way, if they were able to identify her face on camera, definitely she was there. Let's say that's what she does.
Right.
Okay. There's no reason you cannot fake the person there to you partly. Okay. But she appeared, and the reason that for me proves that she was her is the fact that when your friends brought your name or David's name, she had the reasons to disconnect.
Yeah.
Because it's an emotional reaction.
Yeah, right.
It would be a merciful translator, say, keep on talking to me because the credits are dropping and the long goes the conversation, more money I do. So when you overlap the financial interest by the emotional, it's because it was her. Because it's like the Achilles heel of her is this story, because this, I believe, really destroyed part of her reputation online to find someone, because the image is part of it.
Right.
And the
right.
proof is there are websites putting her down.
In the back of my mind, I think I might have really talked to her, because if either my name gets brought up or David's, she ends the call. I don't know why she's mad at me. I don't think what I did was...
Well, you don't put her on a church.
We've talked a little bit about this in private, but can you walk us all through how the pre-recording works?
There are very honest people in the websites. There are people that are there because they even don't know why they are there. There are people that are there to scam people. So if the scamming is what brings the money, then we need to have the tools to produce and generate that money. So everybody knows that to write a letter, open a letter can cost you about $5 or $6. And when you receive that additional attachment, that is the video or the picture, it costs double. And if you put the emojis, it will eat you another credits. So you understand that you are dealing with an industry. And then sometimes the guys can have chats that can be 5 in the morning, and they do not notice that the person who's sleeping should not be there. And happened that because there exist all these websites, and Jesus was only one, so was the only one that could be everywhere at the same time. So for all these platforms to have these people chatting, sometimes is use the pre-recorded images. And this means that the professional scammers, that I have no problem to call them like that, they produce videos and then they give those videos to the companies that perpetrate. And then when the man goes to a live chat, normally this chat doesn't have voice. It's a chat where there's someone that is typing and the woman appears on the screen. Can be the person on the screen, and I give you a very good advice. When you will be on this situation, just ask her to blow you a kiss. If she will not have an immediate response, you better disconnect that video, because you are talking with a looping video.
That's really interesting, and that's what David mentioned in the show, was that he could see her, but he was texting almost. So it was kind of like emailing, but with seeing somebody's face.
If she was in camera, why was not she typing? Because the best thing she have on the skills, though not fluent, is to type.
Right.
At least let's be fair. It's 7 years.
Right.
You know?
Right.
No need to be an astronaut to learn English.
I completely agree. Yeah.
So maybe I believe that he obviously was deceived at the beginning, and I don't know for how long. And I also used to say, sometimes can be nasty, but even the scammers have feelings. Even the scammers have a heart.
Right.
And one day they can fall in love with the guy.
Right.
And that guy will need to have the stomach to forget all the other ones before that were deceived.
Right.
Because everybody have the right to redemption, but you never know when that is going to happen. Problem is that all of us think that problems only happen to the others. We are exempt because we are cool. Yeah, maybe.
Right. Well, I think that's the problem. I think I broke Lana's heart. No, I'm just kidding. That's why she's so mad at me.
Yeah, but I don't think she is mad. You were just an obstacle on her life.
I've never identified myself as an obstacle in somebody's life, so this is a first. Usually, I'm a nice guy, you know. So
An obstacle are good and bad obstacles.
Yeah.
The obstacles that stop you to think, and the obstacles to stop you to progress.
do you think that the best way for an American man to develop an online relationship with a Ukrainian woman and actually have a real online relationship is to go through websites belonging to the alliance?
Well, I don't want to push the fire to my stake all the time, sort of speech.
Right, right.
Because there are much other agencies that are legit also.
Right, but you're the best one. He's being humble right now. He's the best one.
I try to be. That's why I'm not rich. No, money and business, and when the business is emotions and dating is really very complicated mixture. Very difficult.
Right.
So to say that my alliance really is made with people that I trust. They help me, for me to help my clients the best I can. So I trust. I never have proofs that would go against it. So that's why I create it and I promote it, because I think everybody deserves a chance. Because this is dating is like being on a swimming pool full of sharks, and you are the dolphin.
I mean, especially when there's all these websites like this, it's very hard. And even I noticed it when I went on the websites. You know, a lot of these guys probably don't get a lot of looks and attention. And next thing you know, you go on this website and you have all these supermodels talking to you and giving you attention and showering you with attention. And it's almost like, oh my God, I'm a big stud and all these girls want to get with me.
No, it is true. I had people that confessed to me the pleasure that they have in receiving those letters, even knowing they are fake, most likely. This is an exploitation of emotional state. And believe there is not a happy, well-succeeded people in life that is bored, sit home in front of the screen, writing to pictures on a dating platform. Okay?
Right.
People that really want to find a wife, find the strategy, select who can help them, and go forward, take action. Do not stay years online writing letters. Procrastination it says everything. They cannot assume what they think they want.
You're an expert in this dating industry. What exactly do you think about the David and Lana situation?
Honestly speaking, and I didn't follow through when we start with this Lana situation, David is one more good, heartful American man trying to find his luck on the East, coming here, trying to find someone, maybe not evaluating so well how far he can go, how high he can reach. This case is not a unique case. I can tell you that his case is at least 70 to 80% of the men that go online platform.
Wow.
It is just an example. And you said well in one of when you were making those games about the Lana, it is true. It's men like you on your age and looking and status in life. They do not need to go to a platform to find a wife. This kind of there's a prejudice about it. Okay.
Right.
And this prejudice, I felt it often when I'm in the United States and I mingle with other matchmakers and even on seminars. And I heard people telling to me, we are not allowing our men to go to Ukraine purchase a bride.
So these websites are really tarnishing the name of Ukrainian women.
Not Ukrainian, Russian, but okay, Ukraine and Russia is more on fashion, but there are many. There are the South America, there are the Philippines, there are more. All of them, unfortunately, only work where the life conditions are bad and the women are beautiful.
Right, right.
It's a terrible combination that really put all the ingredients there on one plate. Men like David, honestly, sometimes they deceive themselves. That's the only thing, because they need to understand what they really can do. And when this is made by companies that in 99% are American-based companies or from American owners, that the companies are on another country, they know very well their own fellow citizen lacks and how they can supply to them what they want to receive.
Right, so that they're familiar with marketing to Americans, which is why they're coaching up the women, they're coaching up the translators how to approach these men and take advantage.
How could a Ukrainian woman here on a 1,000 inhabitants village know how to please an American man online? There are even fines if you don't do the work well.
Wow.
Translators that are online, they have a limited time to reply to the messages. Those messages always have a cost. From this cost, part goes to the salary of the translator. But if she doesn't perform her work correctly, she is penalized, and that money can be withdrawn from her ongoing account. And it's a hard job, because with the time difference, and when you have most of the traffic coming from the United States with 8-10 hours difference, wait a second, maybe it's 4 in the morning and she's throwing out these letters, these invitation letters. Do you remember what happened with you? Men don't write first to the women.
I know. I knew that was a red flag
this?
right away. I know. I feel like I messed up in that part of the video because I wrote first, but I felt like I didn't want to wait for her to potentially write me. Do you think that for the American men like David that are trying to seek these women, and I get it myself, listen, I'm going to marry a girl from a Slavic country. So I totally understand the infatuation with Slavic women. I do think, though, that when guys are coming over here, I think they should be more mindful of their age. The gap between someone that's in their 50s or 60s and a young model-looking girl, and they should understand, like, I think a lot of them would be successful if they went after girls their own age, or they went after girls a couple years younger than them. Not that vast of an age gap, and also for the intentions of, I'm paying, I have money, because what that does is it makes you come into the relationship with the wrong intentions.
I go back again to the education and formation prior to start all this process. So I had the opportunity to speak with many girls, especially these girls that go to these romance tours, that there are an overwhelming 200 girls in the room and 20 or 30 guys that have 5 or 6 hours to date all those girls. Many men approach these women the wrong way. First, the woman that is not that pretty is immediately excluded. Doesn't matter how men look like, the less pretty are excluded. So we start already on the commodity side of the thing.
Right.
And then when they talk with the girls that are really attractive, unfortunately, many people do not know how to approach them. It's not because they are ignorant, it's because nobody taught them to understand that they are dealing with a different culture. So you don't come to a country that you don't know, and the first time you meet a woman, doesn't matter if it's personally or on a room crowded of girls, you don't ask if she knows how to cook, if she knows how to iron, what she does the best. If she, hey, this looks like an interview for a job that is to be a wife.
Yeah, I mean, those are terrible questions to ask.
This happens often.
They ask questions like that?
Yes, they do.
Wow.
I made interviews to girls that they say that. And, I'm here for 15 years, 24/7. The age gap, I have wonderful couples. Even on my logo, I have a couple that is 27 years different. But you know what? I felt that was really the one. And when he said what he wanted, I had in mind that person. And since the day one, they got together and they got married. And he accepted her daughter. And they live in Manhattan and they are married for years already.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
But when he met her and he saw that was the woman, he not only had the social skills, as he also had the financial capacity to do it, and he came here every other month till he make a K1 visa for her, and he keep on coming and taking her to show where he was born because the guy was from France. He showed his country, they went in vacation. All this takes time, knowledge, and money. You can never separate this from money. And unfortunately, I see many people coming here on romance tours or in self-enterprising tours for dating with money from loans from the bank.
I agree with you, and I do think that if someone isn't financially at that point to be doing these trips and courting a girl in another country, because air travel, you know, the flights have come down and everything, but it is still really expensive. Why don't you go to a local cocktail lounge and try to pick up some, you know what I mean? I just don't understand why some people like that look abroad instead of locally, when there are a lot of foreigners living in the United States?
Well, the community of Ukrainians in this case is huge. Polish, they are also stuck. Polish in the United States, they are millions. They are the biggest diaspora in the United States.
Right.
And there are Ukrainians in the United States. They are, even you go to Facebook, you can find lots of diasporas of Ukrainians. They already, these Slavic women in the United States, they already know better. And they already also start to adopt the American way of life that the American man wants to run from. I understand them. I'm not against the fact that they come here. It's my business, for God's sake. I do it with love and I'm very committed, as you may understand. So I know what is to have a Slavic wife, believe me.
Yeah.
You will have that experience in your years to come.
Right.
I was married 2 times before with European women. This is my 3rd marriage. My 3rd marriage is a way 10 times more in time married. I'm married for 13 years. All the others together, and they don't reach 25% of the time.
Right.
And I really praise these people because they are not easy to enter the heart, but if you enter, you have the familia, la cosa nostra. They are there for you.
They're
and
loyal.
They will never lie to you, and they always will support you. And your wife always will be like that, and she will push the sleeves and do whatever is needed. Remember, she comes from a very difficult legacy. She comes from a very difficult childhood, most likely. She comes from a poor place. She's used to that. We foreigners are more spoiled than them. I give you another trick to understand in terms of online. The situation of Lana, that is your favorite.
Yeah.
If you go to the websites where she is, there are many of them say that I'm with my man from this age to that age. So she's 28, right? There are websites where she accepts to meet men till 65, older than David. Hello? Why this happen?
Is she really 28 or no?
There are a couple of websites that I can show you where she is 32.
She looks older to me. I think she's older than she's letting on.
She has no track of local social networks, even the Russian networks on her city. She is Spanish. There's nothing about that girl anywhere.
Wow.
Except online dating. So if I am on the platform and I am 65 years of age, and I see a gorgeous girl saying that she's ready to a relationship with a guy of my age, I put my credits, I buy my credits.
Yeah.
If she says I want to meet men till 50, I'm 65, they are losing all this gap of 50 to 65 potential spenders.
Right.
Because she's 35, so most likely more than 15 years old she doesn't want is the business. Do you know that the websites track the traffic, who comes to see the profiles, who are the most popular profiles?
Let's go there, because I have a serious question about this. So in my video, I put older pictures of me that were taken in California, but I feel like a lot of people show old pictures of them, so I don't know if that was wrong or not.
That is a very interesting subject. People do not show old pictures of themselves.
Okay.
They show better pictures of themselves. That is another subject. More than half lie online on their age and on their looks. First 2
Right.
is age, looks. The majority of the men put the picture 5 years ago with less pounds, more slim, more good looking, and then when I go to speak on them with them online, I will tell you that 30% will look exactly as the picture.
Wow.
There's something that
I think 80% of everyone, it seems like, has a problem with this. And then there's 20% of people that say, well, because the guys are coming into it with just looks, like they just want a good looking girl, which is a superficial reason, and vice versa, the women are just getting money from the men, and which is also a superficial reason, they kind of deserve what's happening.
partly you are right. If come the wrong people, or the non-matchable, or the non-suitable, or people overwhelm expectations that do not have where to match with this one. But the problem is that we have the love brokers, the agencies here on the middle of these two. They say, hey, don't lose this business. Hey, you can win something with this. You go to a nice restaurant. You have some gifts from the guy. Maybe a trip, who knows? Well, hey, she really likes you. She's very interesting on you. Oh, she is. She didn't like that. No, she is. Psst, go with the guy.
Right.
And this happens every
And they're
hour.
just like, more money, more money, more money. Let's milk. How long can we keep it going?
You see, it's very complicated for me to be educative person and motivate at the same time.
Right.
Because it's like I am the carrier of the bad news all the time. I had people that say to me, Alex, I pay you if you tell me that I can't meet this girl. I say, but this girl is impossible for you to meet on an honest way. If I tell her, I give you $50, go meet the guy, some of them may do it, but I don't do that. But Alex, if you don't do that, I don't pay. I say, don't pay me. You see how sick it is?
Yeah.
I go to another place that they will let me meet girls like that. Please go, not under my shift.
Right. Well, there's a saying where I come from. If I tell you the truth, will you still be my friend? And for a lot of people, the answer is no. Because a lot of people don't want to hear it.
My client.
Yeah.
No.
It's no. No one wants to hear the truth. But I
Yes.
think that's why people appreciate you so much, and your clients probably really appreciate you because you're willing to tell them the truth at the cost of business, which is rare.
Yeah, you see, I tell you honestly, I have many problems. I passed a period of my time, I had the security people and driver with me because I was supposedly the guy that is selling the girls to the foreigners, Local man. Remember, I live here. I'm not sitting there in the United States somewhere.
Right.
I'm living here proposing Ukrainian women and maybe for some men I'm taking them out from the Ukrainian men, so I'm a persona non grata. Till I win some reputation was not easy for me.
Right.
Yeah, I go to the clubs with my clients and they don't know where to step. And this needed to be with them and say, hey, she's making eyes to you, but the boyfriend is also doing eyes to you. Okay, which boyfriend? The boyfriend is there, didn't you notice? Oh, you see, yeah, that's why I'm here. Because if you go make some wrong thing, you wake up tomorrow morning without teeth there on the floor outside.
Right.
And it happened to many.
Yeah.
Because there's this cowboy thing, I'm American, I am the king.
Dude, no,
It doesn't help.
No, it's the same in Bulgaria. I always tell my friends too, if you come here, you got to be cool and definitely be very careful in clubs. Because one of my friends gets drunk and starts hitting on girls and stuff. And I'm like, dude, here, if you hit on the wrong girl and somebody's girlfriend, there's about 8 dudes jumping you. People are very protective about women here.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
They are what everybody wants to have. Is that, you see, at the end, is what the country have the best.
Right. Yeah.
Is the national treasure.
Right.
Nicolas Cage. You like Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
We have the national treasure here.
I know. I'm going to find him one day, Alex. I swear to God, I'm going to find him. We're doing this on a Sunday, so, on the day off, thank you so much for meeting with me and talking with me. I really appreciate it.
If you want to make something on going deep on certain subjects,
Yeah.
my main goal, as I say, I want to educate people.
Yeah.
You have the good looking, you have the skills, you can put people alive. I can mix my ugly truth with your nice smile. So I hope that those that listen me will be able to subscribe for the Yourwetsock, because I hope to be back.
Of course, yeah.
We will talk more about, there are so many. We are at the top of the iceberg only.